SBC Media.
Welcome to the iGaming Daily Podcast, analysing the news from the betting and gaming industry all over the globe, supported by Optimove, the #1 CRM marketing solution for the iGaming market.
Hello and welcome to iGaming Daily, live from the floor of the Meadowlands, if you can't obviously tell. I don't know with the audio if we're picking this up, but it is not even the start of the show. It's 9:30 in the morning and this place is just packed. I'm Jessica Welman, editor of SBC Americas, joined by editor of CasinoBeats, Joe Streeter. Joe, how are you doing this morning?
I'm good,
is the
thank
jet lag
you.
okay?
Yeah, I'm fully acclimatized now, and there's a real buzz off this place as well. There's a real energy coming from the conference floor. We're just to the corner of it, but you can really feel it, as you say. It's it's a lot of fun, very exciting.
It's packed. It's always packed in here. I hate. We talk so much, and I'm so guilty of this, about the stagnation in North America, but you forget that the U.S. is a huge market. Yeah. It's still exciting. It's still something people really look forward to this event each year, and there's still plenty of opportunity.
Yeah, there's still so much opportunity, right?
Yeah, and I think that's some of what I'm interested to kind of see, walking the floor and going to panels, and that is where people think those opportunities are, because once you have a year like this year where we didn't get a lot of legislation, people start to get really creative in innovating their product, innovating how they're retaining people. So I know that's kind of where my head is at on where I want to spend my time.
I agree. I think once the door kind of starts to shut on expansion, it opens to innovation, and that is a really exciting time. And I know some of the companies here, they do that so well, and I think we're going to see the start of some cool projects here today and over tomorrow as well, and I'm excited to hear what people have to say and what people have planned.
Yeah, Adam Greenblatt, the BetMGM CEO, is going to speak to kind of kick things off on a keynote. I'm looking forward to quick plug, SBC Leaders Magazine. If you're in New Jersey, pick up your issue. We spoke with them about the Super Bowl and how creative they got, because it was in Las Vegas and they got to take advantage of all of their land-based assets. So he has a really creative mind, and I'm curious to hear where he thinks things are going. Yeah,
and it is that you guys really expect the extravagant when it comes to sports. That's something I've felt so far, and I think it's the same when... Well, now you've got a taste of it, right? Yeah, I've got a real taste of it, yeah. And I think it's the same for sports betting, though, right? You guys... You really want the extravagant and the fun and the flamboyant, and that really opens the door to some fun projects and some fun innovations. So I know this isn't the event or the industry, but I'm dying to hear how you enjoyed your first Major League Baseball game yesterday. It was a lot of fun. I was there with Epic Global Solutions as well, so big thank you to them. Some great people in the box that were there. Some really interesting conversations.
Box. Yeah, look at you, fancy pants.
Hot dogs and chicken fingers all around. It was a lot of fun. And I loved baseball. Baseball gets a bad rap, but it's not slow. It's fun. You kind of chat, you have a beer, and then you dial in when you dial in, and then when it starts to slow down, the ground staff came out and did the YMCA, and the whole stadium joined in. A lot of fun, and the whole you can quite easily come to New York and not really see New York, I think. Yeah. But getting to be in and around that area, in and around Yankee Stadium, I think is in the Bronx, while the game was going on. Everybody seems to be 10 minutes late for the game. I think somebody told me that's the New York way, to be fashionably late. Yeah. But there's a real buzz. It felt like for a European correlation, it felt like there was a major tournament going on there in one night.
Just one random baseball
one random game. And they played like 4 of them in a week, I think. And it was so much fun. I think the Rangers were playing in the NHL playoffs as well on the night, so everybody piled out and was just pouring into whatever bar or screen they just had screens in the road anywhere where they could watch the Rangers play. Go to double overtime, which I'm told is a rare occurrence in the NHL, and they managed to get the win. Just a great atmosphere. I really enjoyed it, and really got the taste buds tingling for today as well, because so many good sports panels, and I'm always interested to hear the American perspective on sports. I think Specifically, the one that is quite unique to us is college sports. Lots of debate around college sports today. And also, I love how passionate you guys are about women's sports as well, especially women's soccer. And we've got a really good panel on women's sport today. About the World Cup. And, obviously you guys always do very well in the Women's World Cup. And, that success breeds engagement. So how operators can tap into that's going to be very interesting.
Yeah, I think Tom is covering that one for us. I'm not sure if he'll write it up on the day or later, but I know that was one. He loves women's soccer, our new writer, Tom Nightingale. So he was like, can I do this one? And I was like, go to town, because that is not my speed in the slightest. I always used to say, I thought I liked baseball, and then I realized I just like eating hot dogs in groups.
Yes, but that's part of the experience, right?
Yeah, I think that's more, I don't watch, I'll watch it when I'm in the poker room. It'll be on, and I'll kind of follow the Reds game, but it's a passive sport. That's the whole point of it. Are you going to hit up, I assume you're hitting up some casino stuff.
Yeah, I'll be at the iGaming track today. With a whole track dedicated to iGaming. It's going to be really good, some really good speakers. And I think another thing that is very much an American nuance or a North American nuance, I should say, that I'm looking forward to kind of dissecting and delving deeper into is the relationships with tribal gaming and how the tribal gaming relationship has evolved as this kind of corporate sector, if you like, has grown since PASPA was overturned.
Yeah, I really wanted to go to the cannibalization panel, but I have a conflict. That debate roared back to life and is so complicated. I was talking to some government affairs people at the opening party last night, trying to get the inside scoop. I'm like, okay, who got the unions involved? That was genius. I will admit I don't like their side as much, but that was a politically smart play. And
the political football of it is fascinating to watch, right? And fascinating to hear about.
I'm hoping we get Brant Iden on iGaming Daily, not this week, but in the future. He does government affairs for Fanatics and used to be a Michigan representative, so he was served in the legislature. He is such a politics junkie that he can go on about that for hours and hours. So
nice, yeah. I'm excited to see that panel and hopefully hear some good insights as well on the political landscape and what the future holds. And also, I think the other thing that will be interesting is kind of the North American perspective on Brazil. I think there are a few discussions today about Brazil and about LatAm, and it'll be interesting to hear because Brazil's kind of come along as, I think you described it as this shiny new toy, and it'll be interesting to hear what the North American perspective on that is.
Yeah, I mean, we saw on the preliminary list of operators that a lot of American operators are interested in going into the space. It's such a different vibe. It's more like Ontario, right? Because they've been gray for so long that it's how much can you necessarily permeate, even though you may have a global brand that has a lot of awareness to it. So I'm curious to see how much they invest there versus their... I mean, you're seeing that some of them have finally gotten to the point of profitability, but,
I mean, it won't be federally regulated it will be fragmented North America as well,
so,
right? Yeah, so
state by state, but I'll be honest, I don't follow the LatAm stuff as much. Yeah. So Isadora, who is here, maybe she can fill us in at some point.
SBC Leaders connects the gambling industry's top-tier operators and associations to share the best ideas, collaborate on solving the biggest issues, and push innovation throughout the betting and gaming industry. If you're an operator and want to join the discussion, visit sbcleaders.com for more information.
Welcome back to even more from the floor of the Meadowlands and iGaming Daily. I'm so excited because it's been a minute since I've gotten to hang out with Lou Mouriño. So, Lou, welcome back to the pod.
Thank you. It's been a while. I miss this.
I know. Well, for those who don't know, explain why we don't hear from you as much anymore.
Okay, so November 1st, 2023, I switched teams. I went from media to events, basically, and now I'm in the relationships team, taking care of the Latin American side. So because we have so much success in Rio, I'm full-time focusing on that, and I can join very often, but I mean, not as often as I would like, but I've been in some episodes. But I want to go back again soon.
Well, so Joe and I were talking about this earlier with Brazil, that even though this is the U.S.-focused event, how many people are here to keep talking about Brazil and the opportunities?
I think there's lots of them. The thing is, when the list of 134 companies interested in operating in Brazil came out, we saw that there were a bunch of American operators interested. Like, we don't know if that's going to happen, but I think it was Caesars that have
there were
recently...
a lot of them.
But one of them has recently partnered with a Brazilian company to go to Brazil, like, once they can get a license. And I think we're going to continue seeing that because, like, obviously they have the power, they have the economic resources to go into Brazil. It won't be that complicated for these companies that, like, they know how the system works, and here is like pretty regulated.
Pretty rigid.
Yeah, and like South America, sometimes it's not like that. So in that sense, they will be able to provide something for these Brazilian companies. And on the other hand, the Brazilian companies will be able to provide the local knowledge, which is something that all the other companies lack. So I think in that sense, it's going to help massively.
Yeah, I know it came up a couple days ago. It's kind of like Ontario in the sense that it's not like here where you really just have the offshores and no other operators and a market opens up and it really is kind of a brand new free-for-all. Like, I'm interested to see with Brazil, the people that have been kind of operating gray there all that time, how big their lead is going to be and whether these U.S. companies can kind of come in. I don't think they're getting the market share that they necessarily are getting here, right?
Yeah, I think the gray market is going to be huge, unfortunately. Like, we've seen some rules recently, like companies won't be able to offer bonuses and stuff. And that's surprising because, like, obviously the companies need that to have some more, like, to attract more people. So the gray market is going to be big. I don't know how they're going to be able to handle that. But if there's something that we know about American companies is that they know how to navigate that scenario. So, again, I think it will be pretty beneficial for them.
Yeah, it'll be tricky, too, because, like, here, you really don't... You can't operate gray anywhere because it jeopardizes your licenses here. So it'll be...
Do you think that if these American operators get to Brazil and they operate in a ideal scenario, it would affect their operations in the U.S.?
I think it depends on how big their kind of walking line. I mean, I think some of these European companies certainly have gray operations and they're working here, but publicly traded ones, it's a little different and you have to be a lot more careful about what you're doing and things like that.
Yeah.
This is, like, Charlie and I were talking about this with, like, skill games, for example. The fact that Flutter is taking part in skill games, which is unregulated, is interesting because, like, you assume somebody gave them a very solid legal letter saying that, like, you're probably going to be okay, but there's a chance that it won't be, you know, and that, like, the repercussions of that we don't quite know yet. But
no, it would be really interesting to see how they handle themselves. And it's not just Americans, it's Canadians as well. Can't remember exactly which companies they were, but they were like a couple of Canadian companies. So yeah, like you mentioned Ontario before, so it will be very interesting to see what they do.
All right. Since this is the American conference, I guess, is there anything about the U.S. market that you're excited to hear about this week, or no?
I mean, yes, everything, because, again, I mean, to me as a South American, it's very, not weird, like, I mean weird but in a positive way, to see how very well structured the market is. Like, I know that some states were hoping to get, like, regulated sports betting, iGaming, and it didn't happen, but, like, there must be a reason why, and, like, I'm very excited to hear about why that happened and from the experts, especially.
Yeah, there are lots of panels to kind of just, I think, as I said earlier in the show, stagnation is a huge topic this week, but I think the way to frame it is there's still plenty of growth opportunities. It's just not... For the longest time, it was just the easiest. You could just run around and apples would fall off the tree because we just had market after market after market. So now that it's a little more difficult, one, why? I think we've got a California panel tomorrow, but I could be wrong.
I mean, they're certainly going to mention California. It's always California, Texas, like the huge states and how
on
that
the earnings calls
affects
we've been hearing Texas. I'm curious if I hear about Texas much this year. For those who don't know, Texas legislature only meets in even-numbered years, so they were literally off this year. So next year we'll see. Missouri, they had the sports teams turn in their petition. They got enough signatures, so that can potentially be on the ballot and be something that, again, the sports teams were just kind of tired of all of the ridiculousness in that legislature. It's so funny, right? Like, Missouri basically is just, there's a handful of really obstructionist politicians, and that's the reason it didn't go. In Maryland, you have Cordish and Live who don't want it, and they brought the unions in, and it's, to your point, every single state kind of had, the ones left, there's a very specific and different story of why it isn't happening.
Yeah, and there's some states that have, like, a lot of teams, like sports teams, and they could be benefiting from that. Like, when those teams play in other states, those states are benefiting from those teams. Well, and they're not getting anything.
And if you set up the market so that the team is the one who gets the license, they benefit even more, right? So I think a lot of them are kind of going to the state legislature and being like, if you want us to be able to, like, be a competitive, good team in the NFL, this is a very easy way to bring money in that we don't have otherwise to pay people and get better players and get better coaching. So it's interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Are you doing anything? Well, you're about to jump across country to Vegas, but before you go, are you doing anything New York-y, touristy before you go?
Oh, I love New York. It's my favorite city in the world. Like, it's, I don't know if I will live here because it's like too much.
I feel like I want to burst out into like Hamilton right now. Like, it's the greatest city in the world.
No, but like, as a big city person that I moved to like the suburbs in the US, like, I am very comfortable with that, and I wouldn't live here, I think, but I love coming here. I always talk about the High Line. I love that. I've done that twice since I arrived last Thursday, but I'm willing to do it one more time before I leave.
You're going to head up one more time?
Yeah.
I am going to a Broadway show on Friday.
Which one?
So excited. Great Gatsby.
Oh, nice.
With my favorite I've never gotten to see him perform live, but I am obsessed with Jeremy Jordan, if you know who he is. And he was on Supergirl. That's what most people know him from. But he's Gatsby in it, and I'm so ready. But there are plenty of other things to be excited about in the interim. As I said earlier, we'll have all of the updates and everything. The show is about to kick off. So I will let you go do your relationships role and be sad and say bye because we don't get to hang out enough.
I hope I'll be back soon.
Come by the Noticias booth and say hi to Lou.
Oh, yeah,
and
please.
me, because that's where I'll be hanging out.
Please.
I don't have a booth.
We have chairs. We have tables. We have couches. Please come by.
Yeah. All right. Come find us at the booth. Come tune into the next episode, and we'll keep updating you from New Jersey throughout the week.
Thank you for listening to today's iGaming Daily podcast, supported by Optimove, the #1 CRM marketing solution for the iGaming market. If you want to find out more about some of the subjects raised today, feel free to explore any of the sites in the SBC News Network or check out the latest edition of the SBC Leaders magazine. Happy reading.